Let's rock and roll. Welcome everybody to Sunday night's call. We are so fired up. And yesterday we just had an amazing ISA mastery. We're gonna get some shout outs. So I want you guys to recall some of your highlight points, some of your touch points. I want you guys to unmute your lines here in a bit and just share, because I know there were a bunch of takeaways and maybe something that resonated with you. It was missed by somebody else. And when you share it tonight, it's gonna resonate with them. So would love to hear some shout outs here in just 1 second. We're gonna let Odd kind of talk a little bit about some things before we get rolling.
Well, yesterday was one of the most phenomenal days. Comment in the chats if you were blown away by the ISA Mastery training that took place yesterday, because I think it was the most phenomenal setup that if you haven't already watched it, look no further. Watch that and it will set you up for success if you choose to take the action after you're finished watching it. So it was incredible. Just a quick announcement, a week from tomorrow, we are having a local workshop and power hour here at our home. We posted it in Freedom Living Team business page of our address. It's gonna go from 6 to 8 p.m. The first hour is gonna be a workshop hour. And then the second hour is going to be getting into action and having a power hour, and it's going to be remarkable. So we want to invite you, and not just you, but anybody who's in your organization.
Trying to catch up and finish some things.
Who is building the business, because we are really going to be very hands-on during those 2 hours. So a week from tomorrow, mark it in your calendar. Anybody who's in your organization, who's in Knoxville, invite them to be a part of this, because when we all get together and the energy is there, there's so many incredible things that take place and happen. The other announcement that I'm going to share with you is the Holiday Dash Bonus. How many of you are familiar with the Holiday Dash Bonus? How many of you are not familiar with the Holiday Dash Bonus? Okay, so let me just really briefly go over the Holiday Dash Bonus with you, because there's 3 commission months that you can earn additional money. So the first month that we're currently in right now goes from August 24th to September 27th. So that's the very first commission month that you can earn money. And the way that it works is if you start the month at August 27th as a manager,
Paid
as manager,
which is what?
Two people in your organization who are consultants. So paid as manager means you have 2 consultants. Then what you need to do that month to earn an additional $200 is just follow the Leader in Action formula, which we talk about all the time. So you get points based on your personal enrollments, helping your personal enrollments enroll people, rank advancements, and then being paid as manager. When you earn 20 points during that commission month, you're gonna earn an additional $200. $200, okay? If you're begin the month as paid as director, 30 points that month is gonna give you an additional $300. If you're paid as executive, 60 points that month is gonna give you an additional $600. Now the great part about this is if you started the month as a manager, you can rank advance to director, and then that following month you can get that additional $300 bonus versus the $200. So have your eyes focused. James and I focus on the Leader in Action formula every single month, just because it's really great for income producing activities. I know what to focus on: personal enrollments, helping our personally enroll people, rank advancing our personally enrolled, and then also being paid as either manager, director, or executive. And it is a great formula to follow. Through this bonus, you can earn extra cash through the holidays. And in the process, because we're all about long-term vision here, you can continue to grow your residual income. So,
yeah, I mean, that's a really simple way, you guys, just to earn an extra $600, $900, or $1,800 this holiday season. I mean, that I know would make a difference in our world, you know,
yeah.
having an extra $1,800. And so it's you're not doing any different activities. I love how Isogenics sets it up. It's not going out and doing anything different than you would do anyways, just in building your business. They're just rewarding you more for it. So if you have any questions about that, you can comment in the chats or reach out to us directly. We just would love to help everybody feel as empowered and simplified as possible. So with that, we want to hear some shout outs. Let's hear some bullet points and things you took away. It doesn't have to be anything profound. What's something that stood out to you? As Emily, Lynn, Kathy, they all said leaders, they speak up, they speak out. They say, hey, this is what resonated with me. So if you're somebody that took that seriously yesterday and something resonated with you, I want you to raise your hand. I want you to start today stepping out as a leader and saying, hey, this is something that stood out. So raise your hand in the video and I'll unmute you. We're going to start with Dom. Dom, go ahead and unmute your line, dude. Bring it.
Oh man. And I'll start off by, don't forget to leave yourself out, James. Holy crap, man. That you did incredible. What knocked me, like peeled me to my seat was I'm looking for prospects, not projects. That was huge. I think that was so big for me that sometimes I just want to just herd all these people in a big bunch, but getting the right people was huge for me. And the goal of prospecting is not to enroll right away, but be genuinely interested in the person to see if they fit in your organization was huge game changer for me. And I definitely wrote that down. I got stars everywhere, all over my notebook, but that was one that I'll definitely kick this thing off with for sure.
Love it. Thank you, man. That's a great point. Thank you. Who else? Let's keep them rolling. I know that there was a lot. All right, Chelsea, go ahead, unmute your line. Let's hear it.
Yeah, so I think the biggest takeaway was just the incredible presentation that was put together by the amazing Fab. Between the slides, between the scripts, like they took all of the work out for us. And so it's just truly going to be a game changer in the business and duplicatable within all of our organizations. So we're really, really excited about that.
Yeah.
Yes, that was, you guys, something that we were so excited about as a Fab to reveal and get on the same page with. And Dom already said he used it today. We might come back to that in just 1 second. And he's already got it printed off.
Oh, he's got the script.
Who else has it printed off?
Awesome.
Anybody else printed it off? No? All right. Well, that's a challenge tonight, is to print that script out. There you go, Kathy. Come on, Kathy. Oh, yeah, she does. But that presentation, you guys, you're gonna hear us talking about that a lot going forward, because that's gonna be the duplication station right there. It's not rocket science. It's nothing, flashy or fancy, but it is effective. And so I love that, Chelsea. Who else? All right, Kathy, love to hear from you. And then Mom.
I joined a couple minutes into this, so I don't know if I'm repeating someone, but I was so struck, and so was Kim Crawford. We were sitting here together by Kathy Savage's presentation on the 3 scenarios, the 3 types of people, because dealing with an expert, that was so counterintuitive for me. Because if I'm thinking I'm dealing with someone who's an expert, well, of course I want to show them. And it's a wonderful approach. So both of us just looked at each other and went, oh, that makes so much sense. But the whole day was amazing. Thank you guys so much.
Love it. Great point. Great point. I hope you guys took down notes from Kathy's segment as well.
Yeah, she's amazing.
She really brought it. Love that. All right, Mom. Do you want me to unmute you?
Okay. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yes, the entire morning was fabulous. I mean, those 3.5 hours just whizzed by. And yes, James, yours was phenomenal. I totally agree with Dom. And just how good you are at helping us see that these are relationships. I mean, it's getting to know people. It's genuinely caring, all of that, just such great reminders, and you do it so well. The other takeaway that I had were Tyler, when he talked about routine, because I have these bookend takeaways. Tyler, he talked about routine. He talked about the 5 R's, but the first one was routine. And then Emily kind of wrapped everything up and said, are you keeping this simple? Is there ease and simplicity in your business? And I thought, wow, if I have routine and I really work on that and simplifying that, then I am going to have a simple business. Does that make sense? The value in the routine for me is that it helps me do the next right thing even when I don't feel like it, even if I've had a down day or an up day, you know, to just tomorrow do the routine again, you know, whatever works for me. So those were a couple of my takeaways.
Love it. Thank you for sharing that. So good. Routine. All right, let's keep these going. This is really good. I want to keep firing them away. All right, we got Jordan, then Derek, then Christy. Jordan, you're unmuted. I think, there you go.
So I would have to say, like, everything was amazing, but Kathy Savage is just like next level. When she said caring creates cycles, it just all kind of like clicked. Like everything that you were talking about with prospecting, like it is just like Joni just said, it's so much more than just like finding a customer. It's truly building that relationship and creating something genuine with someone.
Yes. Caring creates cycles. I wrote that down too because I'd never heard that. I love it. Such a powerful thing, and it keeps things in perspective and keeps them in order. Thank you for sharing that. Really good. All right, Derek.
Yeah, there was three things that really got me. There was first there was the wise man that said prospecting is the beginning of revenue producing activity, which is just like, yeah, I mean, it just goes hand in hand, you know, especially when you think about it and all the conversations you're having today, whether it's, you know, how fast do you want to grow? Are you having one conversation a day? Are you having three? You know, how many are you having a week, a month? And it adds up. And then the slides, that is big time because it's literally, you know, if it could be someone you enroll and within a week, they're already just using the slides and the notes. And that's that duplication.
Yeah.
And then Michael at the end, when he said like, what's your number? Like there is no, you know, put it in the box. The box only fits a number. It doesn't fit well, I mean, 1 through 10, you know, it only fits a number.
Yeah.
And that's something that'll stick with me for a long time.
Yeah, really good. Really good. I love it. Okay, we had Christy and then Ellen and then Zanetta and Lane. I love it. Christy, go ahead.
So a couple of things as well. James, when you were talking about being a professional asker, you know, just in rephrasing those questions instead of it being like, oh, how's your day? And I see you're getting up. You like gave specifics on that, you know, and it's like, you're getting up at 4 a.m. How long have you been doing that? Just to kind of continue that conversation. I really like that. You know, we're always asking questions, but just phrase it and be very intentional. And then I liked Kathy Savage, again, when she was talking about her 3 types of people, you know, as we reach out to old friends, something that just caught my ear, she mentioned, you know, what's that old nostalgia space? And then she gave the example of, you know, they used to do cheer together and she was the bass and they were the flyer and let's do that like we used to. That really, I thought that was so fun. I was like, yeah, find that old nostalgia space that you guys, what you used to do together with that old friend and tie it in and go.
Yeah, I love it. That's great. Thanks for sharing that. All right, we're gonna get 2 more. We're gonna get Zanetta and then Ellen. Zanetta, go ahead. Oh, did you raise your hand? You didn't raise your hand? Okay, Ellen, did you raise your hand? Okay, hold on. Let me unmute you, or you can unmute yourself. I don't think I can unmute you.
There we go.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, it's going through my car. Okay, I loved it. It was really awesome, and I loved what you were saying, James, about asking better questions, and the whole prospecting thing was fantastic. And I also loved Tyler Dickerhoff's 5 R's, and the one that really stuck out to me the most was actually be realistic, because in a lot of times when I am vision casting for people and I'm setting goals, and it's really good to shoot high, but a lot of times I'm not realistic with my time. And a lot of times I put that professional or the experience that's further down the road that I have on the people that I'm talking to. And I have to treat them as somebody that I want to just get to know and be realistic about the whole experience from start to finish, and even about casting the vision for them too. But that was really, really helpful for me, is just doing that too. It was phenomenal training, and I can't wait to watch it again.
I love it.
Awesome.
So it's going to be available until September 20th. Okay, September 20th, the recording is going to be available. I would highly encourage everybody to watch it at least once more. Guys, I was talking to some people today. You could live on that one segment of training, that 3.5 hour training, for the rest of the year. I kid you not. And if you acted on all the things that we're trained on, you would see such unbelievable growth, not just in yourself, but in your business. So I know how we can be. We can be so, I just want to consume it and get on to the next thing. Consume next, right? It's just this endless cycle. But if you can really sit and chew on this, I tell people all the time, listen, I'm not about just reading an unbelievable amount of books. I want to read a book and I want to let it get into my cells. I want to let
And
it
then change.
Yeah, and let it just change me from the inside out. So if this stuff hasn't hit you and caused you to change, reassess, reevaluate, restructure, consume it again, because I'm telling you, this is some of the top tier training that I've experienced from a practical standpoint in my 7 years with the company.
Well, and I think my biggest, first of all, I thought the whole entire training was phenomenal. Like, I'm going to use that as a resource for brand new people who want to build the business, and just say, hey, you gotta listen to this. You gotta listen to these trainers. And the biggest, probably one of the most impactful things for me taking away is that all of the training that you heard from those trainers yesterday, it wasn't just, wow, they're really great trainers and these are great points. The reason that it was such great training and the reason that they were such great points is because each and every one of them, whatever they trained on, they actively do on a daily basis. They're actually taking action on the things that they're training you on. And the people who plug into that type of training, and not just plug in, like what James was saying, absorb it, but then take action towards it, to take what James taught you about prospecting and actively apply it, then to move to Kathy and what Kathy taught you to actually show somebody how to move somebody in the direction of showing them a tool with Isagenix and to leading them into the presentation that Michael Klaus so eloquently came up with. So when you take that and you plug into it, like the analogy of plugging a light into a wall, the electricity causes the light to shine. Our plugging into the training is what's going to cause your income to grow. There's a direct correlation between the people who actively show up consistently and not just show up to the trainings, but absorb the training and then take action towards it, where their paycheck correlates to the amount of time that they have plugged in and into taking action. And so for me, that was just like one of the greatest things that I just observed, were the people who were tuning in, it's like they're the hungry ones. And when you're hungry for Isagenix and you plug in and then you take action, your life changes, your team grows, your income explodes. And it was just phenomenal.
So what's next? What's next? What do we do next? You've had 3.5 hours of unbelievable training. I'm not going to go into more training right now, but we do need to have the conversation of what is next, because so many times, I've seen it for 7 years. We both have seen it for 7 years. People can come to a celebration. They can come to a New Year's kickoff. They can come to a Super Saturday and be blown off their seats. And the next day they wake up and they do nothing about it.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing. Nothing changes about their world. Nothing changes about their habits. Nothing changes about their decisions that they make on a minute, hour, daily basis. And let me just say, if you're somebody that's craving change, like myself, it is going to require me to make different decisions tomorrow than I made yesterday. That is just the reality of it. So what is next? I'm going to talk about 4 things really quick in terms of what's next after yesterday's training. And if you didn't watch it, you're watching this recording live and you're like, what training am I talking about? It's the ISA Mastery Business Training. Go online and watch the recording between now and September 20th. It's going to be amazing. The first thing when it comes to what's next after having such amazing knowledge poured out on you is you got to make a plan. Making a plan starts today. Don't wake up tomorrow and go, oh, what do I want my week to look like? You're already behind. You're already behind if that's the case, because you're going to be in such a reactive mode, reacting to the day. Who knows, in show of hands, when you schedule out your day, there's such a more fluid, aspect to the day versus when you wake up late, you're behind, you don't have, your routine going. You just feel like you're constantly trying to, avoid these little mishaps and just juggle. And by the end of the day, you're exhausted. You feel like there's so much wasted energy. Like Emily said, you guys, this should be fun. This should feel easy and smooth. It doesn't necessarily mean it should feel comfortable, because we're all going to be on this growth journey, which is going to be uncomfortable, but there should be an element of ease to it. So what is your plan? And like I talked about, when it comes to prospecting, you've got to keep score. The bottom line of your business is going to be how many people are you showing the plan to, showing the presentation to on a weekly basis. How many people? There's not a right or wrong number, but for you, you just got to be honest with yourself and say, hey, this is what I'm going to show up and do this week. If right now you're saying, hey, like Tyler was talking about, I'm going to be realistic. I'm going to show this new presentation. First off, I'm going to learn it. I'm going to print it off. I'm going to let it come into myself and say, all right, I'm going to learn something new. And I'm going to commit to showing 3 people this week, just 3. I'm not going to go over the moon and show 20. I'm not going to go, but I am going to commit to showing 3, because that's what James said. James said that prospecting is the beginning of, it's the foundation of a revenue generating activity. Prospecting and presenting, that is it. So making a plan tonight before you go to bed of saying, this is how many conversations I'm going to have with new people on Penny, on Instagram. This is how many new contacts I'm going to get out in the world. Again, it doesn't have to be some crazy number that's going to cause everybody's jaws to hit the floor, but it needs to feel congruent to you. And then you need to hold yourself to it. So make a plan. With that, to Tyler's point, what's your routine going to be? When are you going to work Isagenix this week? It doesn't have to be all day, and it shouldn't be all day. You should be fully engaged with your spouse or your family or your job when you're there. And you shouldn't feel guilty about not building your Isagenix business. But counter to that, when you're building Isagenix, you should be full on building Isagenix. So when are you going to do that? What pockets of time are you going to commit to right now for Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday until next week? That starts now, guys. I'm telling you, all of the people who are making serious money or aspiring money, whatever you deem that to be, they make a schedule and they stick to it.
And they're all, after they've made the schedule, what they're all utilizing right now is the Penny app.
Yep.
So how many of you, show of hands, are actually utilizing our virtual assistant in Penny? Raise your hand if you are. Be very honest. Okay, awesome. If you did not raise your hand, James and I really want to encourage you to spend this week utilizing it. It is a game changer. You get on the app, it tells you exactly who to reach out to, who to follow up with. It tells you exactly what to do. So the thinking is out of it, because how many times do you say, oh, I really want to build this business, I really want the income, and you open up your phone or you open up your computer and you're like, I don't know what to do. Penny takes it all of the thinking out for you. So if you haven't started utilizing it and you weren't one of the people that raised your hand, get to utilizing it, because everybody who's on the Fab, we're all utilizing Penny. And the statistics show that people who are utilizing it are having an increase in their income as a result.
That's right. So number 1, make a plan. Number 2 is take action. There's no cutting a corner around this. Some of you have been avoiding action. Some of us have been avoiding conversation. Some of us have been avoiding sending that text, making that phone call, making that post. It requires action. Once you have a plan, now we've got to take a step. And it just starts with 1 step. Don't go all the way into Friday afternoon and how busy your schedule might be or how overwhelmed you might be with that event or whatever you need to do then. No, start tomorrow, Monday morning. Don't look at your notes and just get overwhelmed by everything. Look at something, say that resonated with me. I'm going to move on that today, right now. I'm going to start a new step. Take action. Take action. That's number 2. Number 3 is assess. How did that activity go? How did that connection go? How did that presentation go? How did that enrollment go? You got to be, and I said this, the success, you need to be self-aware. You need to be able to objectively evaluate yourself and say, okay, James, how did that go? It didn't really go very well. Honestly, I didn't blow it, but I didn't do it as well as I could have. I didn't prepare as much as I could have. I didn't ask as many questions as I could have, but I can do it better next time. We can't live in this denial of, oh, I'm doing great, I'm doing great, I'm doing great. And in reality, you're not talking to anybody and we're not improving at all. So assess, how did it go? Were they interested? Were they not? And that's not necessarily what determines a successful conversation or not, by the way, but how did it go? You got to assess and then repeat. Go back, make a schedule, make a plan, make a routine, take action, assess, repeat. That's as simple as it is. Guys, here's what this week I believe for all of us is going to start to do. What I want for all of you is to start accruing cookies in your cookie jar. I want you all to have this imaginary cookie jar that just sits over here on your shelf. And your cookie jar is going to be filled with accomplishments that you've accomplished, challenges that you've overcome, whether that's waking up early and going on a run and being proud of yourself. Nobody needs to know that you woke up early and went on a run, but you do. And you know that you can do hard things. You can do hard things. You can do challenging things. You can overcome the fear that's maybe telling you that you're not as strong or courageous or overcoming as you actually are. But to that, I want you tonight to think about your previous cookies that are already in the cookie jar that maybe you haven't, acknowledged in a long time. What are some challenging things that at one point in your life you were like, I could never do this. I could never get to this point in my life. I could never, become a mom or give birth to a baby. I could never graduate college. I could never, move, 2 or 3 times in a year. What are some things that previously you thought that you couldn't do that you've done? Those are cookies in your cookie jar. And as you're going out and doing those hard things, maybe prospecting, maybe sending a tool, maybe doing a presentation, you can pull from those and you can say, you know what? I have done a lot of awesome stuff in my life. I have overcome a lot. I've grown a tremendous amount, and I'm going to keep moving forward. And what this week is going to do for you, as you stick to those routines, as you make a plan, as you take action, is you're going to fill up that cookie jar. There's not going to be a person on this planet that's going to tell you you can't do something. There's not going to be a person on this planet that is going to be able to tell you you can't build a massive organization of people who are wildly obsessed with these products and this compensation plan. But it starts right here. It's a decision. It's a decision that so many people just choose not to make. They have such an incredible weekend like this. They have all this amazing information. And then they wake up tomorrow morning and they go, I'll start tomorrow.
Yeah.
Start now. Let the actions be different. You're not in this alone. And what you're working towards, oh my goodness, if Autumn and I could give you a pill with a glass of water to know what we know, to have experienced all this, it's so worth it. And so many of you already know that. But I'm here to remind you, the work that you're doing, the investment that you're making of time, of money, of personal growth, it is worth it. 100%. So in that, I want you to commit to yourself right here and now that you're going to make a plan tonight before you go to bed. What is your activity going to look like? What is it going to look like? What's your routine? What's your schedule? How are you going to commit to Isagenix this week? In whatever little or big way you can, depending on how far and how fast you want to go. And then we are excited to cheer all of us on together as we stride forward, finishing 2020 stronger than ever before. You guys in on that? You guys feeling that with me, or am I just kind of talking to myself? Because I'm kind of getting myself fired up right now. And I'm all right with that. But I believe this so much for you guys. So is there anything else you want to conclude with?
No, that's great.
Okay, so with that, if you haven't watched the ISA Mastery, go and watch it. You've heard tonight some amazing things. It's going to be well worth your time. Rewatch it. Make some goals. If you want to post them on Freedom Living Team Business, go for it. Let's make some presentations happen this week. Love you guys. We'll see you next week on this call. See ya.
Bye.